Today I will teach you how to make wonton noodle soup. First of all, we need to make the wonton first. Right, today we're going to make some wonton, and the ingredient for the filling is a bit of belly pork, minced pork, shiitake mushroom, prawn, spring onion, and some coriander. Right, first of all, we're going to cut all the vegetable first. And pull the stock off the shiitake mushroom. And basically, you just dice them up into little dice. I would say about 2 or 3 pieces of mushroom will be more than enough. You just want to get the flavour of the mushroom inside and not you know, a massive lump of it. Secondly, you do the spring onion and try to clean it a bit because a lot of grit and soil in the spring onion. So what I advise is just use a tissue and just wipe it. And then for the coriander, basically you just want a touch really. I will say about 5 grams, something like that. Okay, so that's all the vegetable you need. And for the meat, I use roughly about 250 grams of minced pork. If you notice, I actually adding some belly pork in it, or maybe some pork fillet or something like that. The reason for that is the minced pork, as you can see, it's all been minced, but it loses the texture of the meat. So what I do is I add some belly pork or some fillet of pork. Once again, you need to dice them, so it's not a massive big chunk of it. Most Chinese use a lot of pork and prawn for any filling, for any dumpling or anything. So today we're just making for the wonton, but we could also change the filling into making gazzle. It's basically a lot of the filling is the same, you just have a different type of pastry. If you notice, I cut them. I'm not chopping them. I cut them individually into little chunks. Right, once you've done all the pork, now for the prawn, and once again you just cut them up as you do with the pork. Yeah, just basically but when you cook them, do not mix it with the pork, just put it separately onto another container. And diced prawn and diced pork For the seasoning, you need white pepper, light soy sauce, corn flour, Maggi sauce, salt, sesame oil, sugar, and I use a touch of the chicken powder or chicken essence, whichever you could get. If you can't get it, it doesn't matter, it's not great important. Right, now we got all the ingredients, everything ready. We're going to put everything in the meat mixer. First of all, we blend the pork, putting 1 egg inside. With any meat, the more you beat them, the more elasticated you're going to get. So you want to do the pork first before you put the prawn in. You let the meat blend now for about a minute or two, and if you could see the texture of the meat, you're getting a bit more sticky now. That's it. Now you've done that, you put the prawn in. And then let it beat for a couple minutes more. Right, for the seasoning, I would say for this amount, roughly about a teaspoon of white pepper, and then sugar, 2 teaspoons, salt, I would say about half a teaspoon, and then the chicken essence, about half a teaspoon. Light soy sauce, 1 tablespoon. Maggi sauce, 1 tablespoon. And now you turn it on slow to mix the seasoning together. So let that mix for another a minute or two. As you're mixing, you could turn it high slowly. You start off really slow, and then you turn it up higher and higher and higher. The reason for that is, if you turn it on very high at the beginning, all the filling will flying everywhere. Alright. You see all the filling now, getting very sticky now. So you start to loosen it from the beater. Otherwise, the meat on the beater is not going to do anything. Once you've done that, you put the vegetable in. And increase the speed slowly. Right. And now you put the corn flour in, or the potato starch. I would say about 2 teaspoons. Once again, turn it on slowly, stop the flour and getting everywhere. Then increase the speed. Last of all is now put the sesame oil in. I would say about 2 teaspoons. Once again, turn it on slow. At this point, you should be able to smell the sesame oil and everything coming out from the fillings. Right, regarding the meat, you have to understand any meat, the more you beat them, the more elasticated they get. So you get a really good crunch out of it. See how sticky that is now? How elasticated. So when you actually make the dumpling, it'll be really crunchy as well. And there you are. Wonton filling. Right, don't worry. The filling's done now. Put it on a plate. And don't worry thinking it might be too much. I see the texture of it. You can see the spring onion, coriander, shiitake mushroom, you know, and look at the texture of the meat. See, it really elasticated now. So what the filling, if you think the fillings might be a bit too much, you could always put some away and put it in the freezer. And then you could use it for another day. Just a bit of advice for you. When you actually put it in the freezer, make sure you lay it flat. The reason for that is if you lay it flat and thin, next time when you come to use it from the freezer, it defrosts a lot quicker. So basically, just see how thin that is. So if you pop that in the freezer, so next time when you come to use it, it will defrost properly within about an hour or so. Right, to make the wonton, first of all, you could buy the Wonton Pastry from any Chinese supermarket. They will be able to sell them to you. Once you got it out, don't worry, you could always refreeze it. So, because they're like in really thin sheet, it's very hard to get at. So all you have to do is put your knuckle on it and twist. Twist and shout. See, they all separated now. So for the filling, all you have to do, put it in the corner, fold it up in a triangle, top end and end, and just squeeze. Same on the other side, squeeze. How simple is that? Regarding the filling for the seasoning, my advice is this: everybody got different tastes, so you just have to taste the filling first. If you think it's not enough salt in it, put more salt in it, you know, and it's just a guideline what I'm trying to tell you to put in. See how fast it is? Basically, it's a bit like the ravioli. See how fast that is? It only took me about less than 10 minutes. I make one packet, make me about 38 pieces of wonton. So basically, don't worry about this. The reason you have to lay it individually, in a sense, is you could freeze them. So if you just put them together, it's gonna stick but once you freeze them like in layers, so when it come to use it again from the freezer, it's a lot easier to peel off. Right, we're going to do the wonton noodle soup. Basically, you could buy any of those, any noodles, soup noodles from a supermarket anywhere. So what I do is, I got 1 pound of water doing the noodles, 1 pound of water doing the boiling the wonton, and then 1 pound of water doing the soup. So it'd be a lot quicker. I'm waiting all the time. You have to wait until the water actually boils before you actually put any wonton in it, otherwise the pastry will come apart. And you can see the water start boiling now, so I just put the wonton in. I think 5 wonton will be enough for 1 person. And then on this one, just put the noodles in. For those of you who want to make it easier, you can actually use the soup packet, but I prefer to make my own soup. It's very simple to make. All you need is some chicken essence, oyster sauce, soy sauce, and a touch of sesame oil. So give it a bit of a wiggle on the wonton. And wait for the noodles to get cooked. Put it in a journal to dry. You just put the noodles in. See now the wonton start floating. Once it start floating, it's more or less cooked. It only take about 6 to 8 minutes for the meat to cook. Now to make the soup, what I normally do is I put about a spoonful of the chicken stock or chicken powder, whatever you could get your hand on. And then half a tablespoon of oyster sauce. And then a tablespoon of soy sauce. And now while you're boiling the wonton, you put the vegetable or whatever you want to go on it. And then just taste the seasoning. If it's not enough seasoning, you put a bit more in. Put the soup in. Wonton. 2 half-boiled egg, spring onion, and a touch of sesame oil. How simple is this? Wonton and noodle soup, Asian style. So I'll just show you the meat is served. And now for me to taste it. Oh my god, that tastes nice. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please give me the thumb up and subscribe on the button down below.